As Scarymania II winds down and October 31st comes closer and closer, I think it's time for me to talk about Mike Flanagan, who is my favorite horror director going today. He directed Gerald's Game, he directed Midnight Mass earlier this year for Netflix, he directed Dr. Sleep, which was about as good a Shining sequel as we could ever ask for, but he got his start, or my first exposure to him, was Oculus. It tells the story of a brother and sister. The brother has been let out of a mental asylum after a traumatic incident basically scarred him for life. His sister, played by Karen Gillan, aka Nebula from Guardians of the Galaxy, and was a companion on Doctor Who, she picks him up and says, "Hey, you know that thing that happened to us? I got the thing that did it." The sister believes that this big ol' mirror was responsible for it, and she believes she has evidence to believe as much. She has purchased it and believes that she has got it in a compromising position to where they can examine it and finally destroy it. While this is going on, we see the accident play out and what leads up to it in the brother and sister in their younger form. I did not see Oculus in theaters. I actually saw it at home. And yeah, I loved it, and I still do. I can't remember where it was, but I believe I called this movie Mike Flanagan's audition tape to direct the Shining sequel. Because in many ways, if this movie were made like, say, the mid-60s, early 70s, Stanley Kubrick would have certainly made it. But with Dr. Sleep being how it is, and Oculus how it is, it was Mike Flanagan basically saying, "Put me in, coach, I'm ready to play." Like I mentioned, this movie follows two timelines, all revolving around this brother and sister, when they were kids leading up to the incident, and when they're adults, when the brother gets picked up, all the way through to them studying the mirror. And both are riveting. It's rare that a movie can do that, but they both work. The sister in the older version is played by Karen Gillan, like I mentioned, and the brother is played by Brenton Thwaites. And they have a great relationship together. I love their dynamic. Thwaites' character has been basically pounded into the head that what happened had nothing to do with spirituality. It was just, it was basically just a lot of bad things, like abuse, if you will. And the sister is like, "That's not true, the mirror did it." And the movie does a great job of not showing you exactly what happened. There's implications and a definitely scary scene involving Katie Sackhoff, but the movie doesn't out and out say, "Okay, here's what really happened." There are enough breadcrumbs to where you can figure it out for yourself. However, it isn't overly explained. I love that. I love the spirit of that. In the scenes that she does have, Hallmark's new star, Katie Sackhoff, is really good. Rory Cochrane is good as her husband, and there's a lot of mystery surrounding that, and that was very riveting. Even the kid actors were really good as well. There's more than a fair share of scares, and even some where I was like, okay, here it comes. Even then, I was taken aback. It was quite good. And at the end of the day, Oculus is still a heavy favorite as my favorite Mike Flanagan work. Like, I love Gerald's Game, I love Dr. Sleep. Haven't seen Haunting a Hill House or Midnight Mass, I still have to. But Oculus is still my favorite, and it proves that Mike Flanagan, right now, everything he touches just turns to gold.